Welcome to tonight's black screen sleep story for relaxation. In the heart of a tranquil valley, far removed from the noise of the modern world, lay a small, ancient village, cradled in the embrace of time. The sun began to dip behind the distant hills, casting a warm glow that melted into shades of amber and rose. As day transformed into night, the village came alive with the gentle whispers of the wind rustling through the trees, the soft clinking of shutters preparing for slumber, and the distant calling of evening birds returning to their nests. Each wooden house, weathered by years of stories, stood in solidarity along the cobblestone path that wound its way through the heart of the village. It was here that I spent my childhood, where memories linger like the fading light of dusk. I remember the scent of old wood that wafted through the crevices of my grandparents' home, a scent imbued with love and history. Every corner, every creak of the floorboards told a story, each rumor of time echoing through the labyrinth of my young imagination. Outside, the cobblestone paths would lead me to the village center, where the old fountain murmured its secrets to anyone who would listen. The water, clear and cool, sparkled as it played with the fading sunlight, a gentle reminder of the life coursing beneath the surface. As the shadows grew long, I often found myself drawn to a peculiar door on the edge of the village. It was a heavy, wooden door, intricately carved with patterns that told of an era long past. I would gaze at it from a distance, a curious child caught between boldness and trepidation. The villagers spoke in hushed tones about this door, saying it only opened at dusk, revealing the unknown. The stories varied with each tell, ranging from an enchanted garden untouched by time to a hidden room that held the secrets of the village's forebears. Once, I heard an old woman say that if you placed your ear against the door at dusk, you could hear whispers from those who had passed through it long before. That door became an anchor in my childhood, a steadfast point of intrigue amid the simplicity that surrounded me. I would often sit on a nearby stone, my fingers tracing the contours of the weathered surface. The creaking timbers seemed to breathe as the evening rolled in, stirring a gentle yearning within me, a longing for answers, for connections to places I could not see, yet felt so closely. With every dusk, I found comfort in the village's rhythms, the sound of wooden shutters being drawn closed, the flickering candles igniting in windowsills, casting a warm glow onto the cobblestones. Each evening was a tapestry woven with whispers of the past that intertwined seamlessly with the present. The village, in its quiet glory, craved exploration, yet also whispered for stillness. As children, my friends and I would often play around the door as the sun sank lower in the sky. We would dare each other to touch the handle, our laughter mingling with the scent of the earth and the sweet fragrance of blooming lilacs nearby. Yet, amid our youthful bravado, a sense of respect lingered. None of us ever dared to open it. Perhaps we feared the unknown, or perhaps we sensed the sacredness of what lay behind that ever-closed entryway. The villagers were kind and warm-hearted, their lives intertwined like the roots of the great oaks that lined the valley. They spoke of simpler times, where stories were shared over steaming cups of tea, and the sound of children's laughter danced in the air. I often listened as they recounted tales of love, loss, and the passage of time, each narrative imbued with the essence of what it meant to belong. In those quieter moments, I learned to appreciate the beauty of the mundane. The sight of a hen scratching at the dirt, a pot of fragrant stew simmering on the stove, or the hum of bees busying themselves in the nearby garden filled my heart as much as any grand adventure could. Life was lived with intention, and every evening brought with it a chance to reflect on the day, to find solace in the quiet corners of our lives. Yet that door remained a mysterious enigma, a constant reminder that not all was understood, nor should it be. As autumn approached, painting the leaves in shades of rust and gold, the world around me began to wear a cloak of change. The air turned crisp, and the scent of burning wood filled the village, wrapping the evening in warmth. I often found myself gazing at the door, wondering what lay beyond its sturdy frame, yearning for a glimpse of the magic it held. On one particular evening, as dusk enveloped the village, a stillness settled over the cobblestones. It was a calm that felt almost reverent, as though the earth itself held its breath. A chill ran through the air, and somehow the village felt alive, pulsing gently with an allure that beckoned me closer to that unyielding door. The soft glow from the nearby cottages cast elongated shadows, dancing gracefully against the stone walls as I approached. With each step toward the door, the whispers surrounding it grew louder, echoing in the recesses of my mind. Perhaps it was the stories of old, or perhaps it was the weight of my own dreams that pressed against my heart. But as I stood before it, I could feel the world around me quieting down, preparing for the unveiling that only dusk could bring. And there, in that moment, the door seemed to sigh, as if inviting me into a journey that transcended the ordinary rhythm of life. The day had come to a close, and with the magical cloak of twilight wrapping around the village, it was time to embrace the mysteries that lay just beyond the threshold. Now let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. As dusk fell gently over the village, a soft veil of twilight wrapped itself around the familiar landscape, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. The wooden houses, with their time-worn facades, began to glow softly as the last rays of the sun faded behind the hills. Each window became a flickering candle, illuminating the lives within. The air turned crisp, carrying with it the scent of wood smoke and a hint of damp earth, remnants of the day's warmth. Villagers emerged from their daily routines, their movements slower, more deliberate, as if they were attuning themselves to the rhythm of the evening. I watched from my vantage point by the well, a centerpiece of the village, where laughter and gossip mingled during the day. Now, as the light waned, the mood shifted to one of quiet contemplation. I felt a surge of nostalgia wash over me, conjuring memories of those twilight hours spent with friends. We would gather near the old oak tree, its gnarled branches reaching skyward like hands in prayer, sharing stories and dreams that felt as timeless as the stars beginning to dot the sky. As evening deepened, I recalled the tales woven into the fabric of village life, particularly those centered around the mysterious door. Each villager had their own story, a tapestry of whispers and glances exchanged in the glow of the fading light. Some spoke of the door as a passage to another realm, while others insisted it was simply a relic of the past. Their voices would lower when they mentioned the peculiar single lock that lay quietly beneath the heavy wood, as if it held the secrets of generations within its rusted clasp. Old Mrs. Hargrove, with her silver hair and warm smile, often reminisced about her childhood encounters with the door. She claimed it opens only at dusk, revealing not just the night, but also the hidden stories of the village. "It's as if the door breathes," she would say, eyes twinkling with mischief. "The moment the sun says goodbye, it awakens with tales long forgotten." Her words echoed in my mind, igniting a spark of curiosity that began to blossom into a desire for discovery. The air grew cooler, and the sounds of the village softened, replaced by the gentle rustling of leaves and the distant hoot of an owl. I noticed the villagers retreating into their homes, their silhouettes framed by warm, flickering lights. Yet the door remained, standing resolute at the edge of my memories, beckoning me with its allure. It felt as though it had absorbed the essence of every story told and every secret shared, waiting for someone to unlock its mysteries. As I meandered through the cobblestone paths, I felt the weight of history in every step. The stones, worn smooth by countless feet, whispered secrets of the past, reminding me that life in the village was a cycle of beginnings and endings. I watched as children chased the last remnants of daylight, their laughter dancing through the air like fireflies. Their joy served as a poignant reminder of the innocence that once enveloped my own youth, a time when the door symbolized not just curiosity, but an invitation to adventure. I arrived at the door, its surface weathered and rough, yet inviting. The fading light painted it in hues of deep indigo and shadow. I placed my hand upon the cool wood, feeling its texture and the stories imprinted within. It was an object of both wonder and reverence, a threshold between the known and the unknown. The keyhole, small and unassuming, seemed to pulse with the heartbeat of the village, echoing the hopes and dreams of those who had come before me. In that moment, I understood the door was more than just a physical barrier. It was a symbol of connection to the past. Each villager's story wove a thread into the fabric of my own life, creating a rich tapestry of shared experiences. I closed my eyes for a moment, allowing the memories to wash over me like the gentle breeze that stirred the leaves overhead. The stories surrounding the door were not merely tales, but reflections of the villagers' lives, of love found and lost, of joy and sorrow intertwined. Suddenly, a memory surfaced. I recalled the night of the harvest festival, when laughter filled the air and the village came alive with music. That night, I had dared to approach the door, my heart racing with anticipation. I had imagined it opening, a portal to all the wonders of the world, but instead it remained steadfast, a silent guardian of the village's secrets. The recollection brought a smile to my face. The door had not denied me, but rather invited me to embrace the stories that surrounded it. It held the essence of the village within its frame, a reminder that life was a collection of moments, each one precious and fleeting. I felt a deeper connection to my roots, a realization that the past shaped the present, grounding me in the simple yet profound beauty of village life. As the final rays of sunlight dipped below the horizon, the door, cloaked in twilight, seemed to exhale a breath of anticipation. I could sense that it held a promise, a whisper of adventures yet to come. The villagers, now nestled in their homes, had entrusted their stories to this quiet threshold, and I felt an urge to explore further. In that stillness, I made a decision. I would return to the door as night fully descended, yearning to uncover its secrets. Perhaps it was not just the opening of the door that mattered, but the journey it promised. A journey through memories and stories that could illuminate even the darkest corners of the heart. As I turned away, the village wrapped itself around me like a comforting embrace. The distant sounds of laughter faded into the night, replaced by the soft chorus of crickets, serenading the quietude that enveloped the valley. I carried with me the warmth of community, the weight of stories shared, and the anticipation of what lay beyond the door. The evening had deepened into night, and as I walked back through the cobblestone paths, I felt a sense of peace settle within me. The door would wait, as it always had, a steadfast reminder of the connection to my past and the promise of exploration. Now let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. The twilight air was thick with the scent of damp earth and the lingering sweetness of blooming honeysuckle. I wandered deeper into the village, guided by an invisible thread of nostalgia that tugged at my heart. Each step along the cobblestone path felt like a whisper from the past, urging me to remember, to connect. The soft glow from the windows of wooden houses flickered like stars, casting playful shadows on the ground. The village, though quiet, pulsed with stories waiting to be unearthed. As I strolled past the familiar cottages, I noticed the old oak tree at the village square, its gnarled branches reaching toward the sky as if yearning for the dreams of those who once played beneath it. Children had carved their names into its bark, a testament to the laughter and joy that seemed to echo through the leaves. Memories bubbled to the surface, games of hide-and-seek, the thrill of climbing its sturdy limbs, and the gentle admonitions of mothers calling their children home as dusk settled. I continued my journey, feeling a comforting breeze that rustled through the leaves, carrying with it the stories of generations. My feet led me to the edge of the village where the mysterious door awaited, nestled against a weathered stone wall that had borne witness to countless seasons. The door stood as a sentinel, its paint chipped and faded, yet it held a quiet dignity. I could almost hear the soft creak of its hinges, the faint echoes of laughter and warmth that had once spilled forth. Suddenly, I noticed an elderly villager seated on a bench nearby, his weathered hands folded over a cane. Mr. Thorne, known for his gentle demeanor and wise stories, looked up as I approached. His eyes, deep-set and kind, sparkled with recognition. "Ah, you're back again," he said, his voice a soothing rasp, as familiar as the rhythm of the village itself. "The door calls to you, doesn't it?" I nodded, feeling the weight of his gaze. "It does. There's something about it that feels important." Mr. Thorne chuckled softly, the sound like dry leaves rustling in the wind. "Many years ago, that door led to a garden filled with life and laughter. It belonged to the Whitakers, a family that delighted in cultivating beauty." He gestured toward the door, and I leaned closer, captivated. "Their garden was a sanctuary," he continued. "It thrived with flowers of every hue, each petal a brushstroke on the canvas of their lives. Every evening, the family would gather there, sharing stories, their laughter intertwining with the sweet fragrance of roses and lilacs. It was a place where dreams were nurtured and bonds were forged." As he spoke, I closed my eyes, allowing his words to paint a vivid picture in my mind. I imagined the vibrant flowers swaying gently in the evening breeze, the sun casting a golden hue over the blooms, and the Whitakers, arms entwined, sharing tales as the day waned. There was a tenderness in his voice that made the past feel achingly close, as if I could reach out and touch it. "What happened to the garden?" I asked, my curiosity piqued. Mr. Thorne sighed, the sound heavy with nostalgia. "Time, as it often does, took its toll. The family moved away, and the garden fell into disrepair. The door remained, a portal to what once was, yet no one dared to open it. Fear of losing the memories kept it closed." I pondered his words, the weight of history settling upon my shoulders. The door was more than just a threshold. It was a keeper of stories, a reminder of love and loss, of moments that had shaped lives. My heart ached with a newfound understanding of its significance, not just to me, but to the entire village. What if it was opened again? I mused aloud. What if we could breathe life back into that garden? Mr. Thorne's eyes twinkled with a hint of mischief. "Ah, that is the question, isn't it? To reclaim what has faded with time. Perhaps it is not just the garden that needs reviving, but the spirit of togetherness that it once represented. A spark ignited within me, a desire to explore the possibilities that lay beyond the door. The whispers of the past intertwined with the present, urging me to take a step forward. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the cobblestones, I felt an exhilarating mixture of hope and trepidation. The door was not merely a barrier, it was an invitation to reconnect with my roots, to understand the threads that bound my family to this village. "Will you help me?" I asked, a sense of determination rising within me. "Will you share more stories, perhaps even help me find a way to open that door?" Mr. Thorne nodded slowly, a smile gracing his lips. Of course, my dear. The past is a treasure chest, and I have many stories yet to share. But remember, unlocking that door requires more than just turning the handle. It demands a willingness to embrace both the joy and the sorrow that lies within. The dusk deepened around us, wrapping the village in a cocoon of tranquility. I could hear the distant chime of a clock, marking the passage of time, and in that moment I realized that the past was not something to be merely observed, but embraced fully, imperfections and all. As we sat together, the air thick with memories, the village felt alive, each corner whispering tales of love, loss, and resilience. The door seemed to pulse with potential, a promise of discovery that beckoned me closer. I understood now that my journey was just beginning. With each story shared, the door would draw nearer to being opened, revealing not just a garden, but a rich tapestry of life woven through the ages. The sensation of anticipation filled my heart, mingling with the gentle rustle of leaves and the distant calls of the night. I knew I would return to the door, not just as a curious wanderer, but as a part of the village's legacy, ready to embrace the beauty that lay beyond. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. Welcome to tonight's black screen sleep story for relaxation. As the last rays of the sun dipped below the horizon, a deep indigo hue enveloped the village, and the familiar sounds of evening began to echo softly. The villagers, drawn by the warmth radiating from the central fire pit, gathered like moths to a flame. This was a ritual as old as the cobblestones beneath their feet, a gathering that spoke of connection, comfort, and shared histories. My heart swelled with a sense of belonging as I settled near the crackling fire, watching the flames dance with an elegant flicker. The flickering light illuminated the faces of the villagers, each one etched with the lines of time, each one a vessel of stories waiting to be shared. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. I felt a comforting bond with them, strengthened by the warmth of the fire and the familiarity of our shared experiences. Old Mrs. Hargrove, her voice a soft melody, began to recount tales of long ago. "You know, the door wasn't always just a door," she began, her eyes reflecting the flames. "In our youth, it was a passageway to our dreams, a place where we shared our secrets and our laughter." The villagers leaned in, captivated by her words, and I found myself entranced by the imagery she painted. Around the fire, the murmur of voices blended with the crackling of the wood, creating a symphony of nostalgia. Mr. Thorne, sitting across from me, nodded in agreement, his story weaving itself into Mrs. Hargrove's narrative. "I remember the summer nights," he said, his voice steady yet gentle, "when we would dare each other to knock on that door, believing it would lead us to adventures beyond our wildest imaginations." As the stories unfolded, I could see the door in my mind. The old wooden frame, its paint worn and faded, yet resilient against the passage of time. It was more than just a physical barrier. It was a threshold to cherished memories, a vessel of laughter and perhaps even tears. Each tale spoke of the door as a keeper of secrets, an entryway to the innocence of youth and the camaraderie that flourished in those carefree days. The villagers spoke of their first encounters with the door, the thrill of uncertainty mingling with the warmth of safety. I saw the light in their eyes, the memories igniting a spark of joy. Each story echoed the same feeling. The door held the essence of their childhood, a connection to the simpler moments that shaped their lives. As I listened, my own memories began to surface, swirling around me like whispers of the past. I remembered playing hide-and-seek in the garden, the intoxicating scent of blooming flowers filling the air as I dashed toward that very door, breathless with laughter. The door had witnessed our joy, our innocence, a guardian of our youthful adventures. The flame flickered, casting shadows that danced across the villagers' faces, illuminating their expressions of nostalgia. I felt a warmth spreading within me, a growing realization that we were all interconnected through our shared stories. The door was not just a relic of the past, it was a living symbol of the relationships that tied us together. Mrs. Hargrove continued, her voice steady and inviting. You see, dear ones, the door opens at dusk not merely to reveal the garden, but to remind us of the beauty of our memories. It whispers to us, urging us to carry those stories forward, to share them with the next generation. The fire crackled, and I was struck by the weight of her words. The significance of the door grew clearer. It was a reminder to cherish our past while embracing the present. Each story shared around the fire added another layer to the fabric of our community, binding us in a tapestry woven with love, laughter, and the gentle threads of time. As the night deepened, the sky transformed into a blanket of stars, twinkling like whispers of the ancestors who had come before us. The cool air wrapped around us, a gentle reminder of the world outside our cozy circle. Yet, in that moment, I felt a profound sense of security and comfort. Mr. Thorne leaned forward, the firelight casting a warm glow on his weathered face. Do you remember the winter nights? He asked, his voice filled with a wistfulness that tugged at the heart. How we would gather here, huddled close, telling stories of our dreams while the snow fell softly outside. I could almost feel the chill of winter air brushing against my cheeks, the sound of snow crunching underfoot as we made our way to the fire, the warmth washing over us like a wave of joy. With every story, I felt my connection to the village deepen. The door, once a mere structure in my childhood memories, now stood as a symbol of belonging, a reminder that these moments, shared and cherished, were the essence of life itself. As laughter filled the air, I noticed a shift in the atmosphere. There was a collective understanding that our stories were not just personal. They were threads weaving together a larger narrative of community and love. Each villager's laughter echoed with the memories of those who had come before, each tale a tribute to the enduring spirit of our home. As the evening wore on, the fire began to dwindle, the flickering light casting long shadows around us. I felt a sense of serenity wash over me, a gentle acceptance of the passage of time. The stories shared among us were not just echoes of the past, they were a celebration of our journey together. In that gathering, under the vast expanse of stars, I realized that the door's true significance lay not merely in its physical presence, but in the memories it held and the connections it fostered. It invited us to step beyond the ordinary, to embrace the beauty of our shared history, and to find comfort in the stories that shaped us. Now, as the fire's glow faded, I felt a new clarity emerging within me, a desire to confront my own memories tied to that beloved door. The warmth of the villagers' stories had sparked something within me, urging me to revisit my childhood dreams and the laughter that once filled the air around that threshold. Now, let your thoughts drift away and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. As twilight painted the village in shades of deep blue and soft gray, I found myself standing before the doorway that had long haunted my thoughts. The air was cool against my skin, carrying with it the distant sound of laughter from the fire pit where villagers gathered, their voices mingling like the gentle rustle of leaves. The door loomed before me, its aged wooden frame exuding a sense of solemnity, yet inviting me to step closer, to discover what lay behind its threshold. With each heartbeat, the mix of fear and excitement surged within me, urging me to confront the mystery that had lingered in the shadows of my childhood. This was not just a door, it was the embodiment of my past, a portal to memories I had long tucked away. The villagers' stories echoed in my mind, tales of love and loss that seemed to cling to the very wood itself. I could almost hear old Mrs. Hargrove's voice whispering of adventures waiting beyond this barrier, of laughter exchanged under the boughs of blooming trees that had long since vanished from sight. As I reached out, my fingers grazed the surface of the door. It felt cool and smooth beneath my touch, yet I could sense the years etched into its grain. In that moment, I was no longer just a visitor in this village. I was a part of its history, woven into the fabric of its stories. I hesitated, wondering if I was ready to face what lay beyond. What if the door revealed not just memories of joy, but also of sorrow? Echoes of a family that had once thrived here, now lost to the passage of time. Taking a deep breath, I steadied myself. I remembered the stories of the Whitaker family, the laughter of children playing in their garden, the warmth of gatherings beneath their roof. But what had happened to them? Why had their vibrant life faded into whispers? And what of my own journey? Had I been running from my past all along? As dusk deepened, shadows danced around me, cloaking the village in a serene embrace. My heart raced as I turned the weathered handle, feeling a tremor of energy pulse through the wood. The door creaked open slowly, revealing a dimly lit interior that seemed to hold its breath, waiting for my arrival. A wave of nostalgia washed over me, enveloping me in a bittersweet embrace. Inside, dust motes floated lazily in the fading light, creating a dreamlike quality. The air was thick with the scent of old wood and forgotten stories. As I stepped further into the room, my gaze fell upon an inscription carved into the doorframe. The letters were faded but still legible, and they whispered secrets of the past. "Love binds us, even as time takes us away," it read. My heart ached at the beauty of those words, resonating deeply within me. The inscription spoke not just of the Whitakers, but of all the connections forged in this village, threads that linked lives together through shared laughter, heartaches, and dreams. The realization washed over me. I was not just confronting the memories of others. I was facing my own fears of intimacy, of vulnerability, of allowing others into my heart. In that quiet moment, I understood that the door was a symbol of both separation and connection. It had stood for years, dividing the past from the present, but now it served as a bridge. The Whitakers had loved fiercely, and in their love, they had created a legacy that echoed through the lives of those who remained. I felt a swell of gratitude for the villagers who had shared their stories, their joys and sorrows, weaving a tapestry of resilience that enveloped me. As the shadows lengthened, I glanced around the room. Dusty furniture lay draped in sheets, remnants of a life once vibrantly lived. A faded photograph sat on a mantel, its edges curled with age. It captured a moment, the Whitaker family, their faces lit with laughter, framed by the garden that had thrived with flowers and sunlight. I could almost hear the echoes of their voices, the whispers of secrets shared under the boughs of trees that no longer stood. It struck me then how we are shaped by those who came before us, how their joys and heartaches inform our own paths. The door, once a source of trepidation, had become a conduit of understanding. With every breath, I felt the weight of my own journey, the fear of letting go, the hesitation to embrace the unknown. But the inscription, with its gentle reminder of love's enduring nature, urged me forward. I stepped back into the cool dusk, the door creaking softly as it closed behind me. The village was alive with warmth now, the flickering light from windows creating a soft glow against the encroaching night. I understood that my journey was not just about uncovering the past. It was about moving forward with the lessons I had learned, allowing love, both given and received, to guide me. As I walked toward the fire pit, the laughter of the villagers wrapped around me like a comforting blanket. I felt lighter, unburdened by the weight of unspoken fears. The door had opened, not just to the past, but to the future, a reminder that love, in all its forms, was worth embracing. There, among the villagers, I shared in the warmth of their stories, feeling a renewed sense of connection. The night deepened, and the stars twinkled overhead, each one a reminder of the love that binds us across time and space. The door that had once seemed so daunting was now a symbol of hope, of new beginnings waiting to unfold. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. As my fingers lingered on the weathered surface of the door, I felt an ancient energy pulse through the wood, a whisper of the past inviting me in. With a gentle push, the door creaked open, revealing a world that seemed to breathe with life and memory. The garden sprawled before me, a tapestry woven from fragments of my childhood. Vivid colors danced in the twilight, painted by the soft glow of the fading sun, and the fragrant blooms released their sweet perfume into the evening air. Stepping inside felt like crossing a threshold into another realm, a place where time stood still. The familiar paths, once trodden by small, eager feet, beckoned me forward. I could almost hear the laughter of my younger self echoing among the flowers, mingling with the distant chirping of crickets that heralded the night. Each step I took stirred the leaves beneath my feet, releasing a crisp scent that mingled with the lingering warmth of the day. As I walked deeper into the garden, memories unfurled like petals in bloom. I recalled the afternoons spent chasing butterflies, the sun filtering through the branches above, casting playful shadows on the ground. The garden had been my sanctuary, a vibrant canvas where imagination ran wild, and the worries of the world faded away. And now it stood before me, a living testament to the joy that once filled my heart. Yet it was not just a sanctuary of joy. This garden also held echoes of sorrow, whispers of the Whitaker family who had once nurtured its beauty. Their laughter had faded into silence, leaving behind traces of their presence woven into the very fabric of the flowers and trees. I paused by an old oak, its gnarled branches heavy with memories, and felt a pang of loss. What had become of them? Did they ever find peace in the shadows of their own garden? The wind, gentle yet insistent, wrapped around me like a comforting embrace, urging me to keep exploring. I approached a rose bush, its blooms vibrant against the twilight backdrop. The roses were a reminder of love, both given and received, of connections that had shaped my life. I crouched down, brushing my fingers against the soft petals, and recalled the stories my grandmother had shared about the Whitakers. Their love had been an anchor in the village, a beacon of hope amidst storms. I wondered how their legacy lingered, how their spirit continued to influence the lives of those who had known them. As I ventured further, I found a weathered bench nestled beneath a lilac tree, its branches swaying gently in the evening breeze. It had always been my favorite spot to sit and daydream, surrounded by the soothing hum of nature. I settled onto the bench, allowing the serenity of the moment to wash over me. The garden enveloped me in its embrace, a tapestry of colors, scents, and sounds that felt both familiar and new. It was then that I realized the profound truth hidden within this sanctuary of memories. The garden was not solely a reflection of the past, it also breathed life into the present. Each flower represented growth and renewal, a testament to the cyclical nature of existence. The beauty that surrounded me was a reminder that life continues, even in the face of loss. It whispered an understanding that I could honor the past while also embracing the present. The memories I had carried like shadows began to dissolve, replaced by a sense of peace. I could feel the weight of the years lifting, replaced by the lightness of acceptance. The fear I had held on to, the apprehension about confronting my past, began to fade, replaced by gratitude for the journey that had brought me here. In the heart of the garden, I noticed a small stone path leading toward a hidden corner, partially obscured by overgrown vines. Curiosity tugged at me, and I followed the path, each step imbued with purpose. As I approached, I discovered a wooden trellis adorned with delicate wisteria, its blossoms cascading like a gentle waterfall. Beneath the trellis, a small plaque was embedded in the ground, its inscription worn but legible. In memory of those who loved and were loved. The words resonated deeply, echoing the sentiments I had long kept buried. I knelt before the plaque, a wave of emotion surging within me. The garden was not merely a collection of memories, it was a living testament to the connections that shaped our lives. I could feel the presence of the Whitaker family, their love radiating from the very earth beneath my fingers. They had tended this garden not just for themselves, but for all who sought refuge in its beauty. As the last remnants of daylight surrendered to the encroaching night, the garden transformed. The soft glow of fireflies began to dot the landscape, illuminating the path ahead. I stood, taking a moment to absorb the beauty around me, and felt a profound sense of closure settle within my heart. The door that had once felt like a barrier now stood open, allowing the past to coexist with my present. I turned back toward the door, now framed in the soft glow of twilight. It symbolized not just a portal to memories, but a reminder that healing is possible through acceptance. The village, the garden, and the stories held within them would forever be part of me. I had come to understand that the journey through loss and nostalgia does not diminish the beauty of what once was. Rather, it enriches the tapestry of our lives. With one last look at the garden, I stepped back through the door, closing it gently behind me. The echoes of the past remained, now intertwined with the promise of the future. The village, with its quiet charm and rich history, stood as a sanctuary of solace, a place where I could always return. Now let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. Welcome to tonight's black screen sleep story for relaxation. As the final rays of sunlight slipped beneath the horizon, I stood once more before the door that had long been a symbol of my childhood, a portal to the past. The village, now draped in a soft twilight glow, breathed a sigh of relief as the day surrendered to the embrace of night. The gentle rustle of leaves whispered secrets only the wind could understand, and the air was thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming night jasmine. This door, once a source of both fear and fascination, now felt like a cherished friend. It had stood there, steadfast against the ravages of time, much like the memories it guarded. I could almost hear the laughter of children echoing through the years, the warmth of shared stories wrapping around me like a beloved quilt. The villagers had long since moved on, yet their spirits lingered, tethered to this threshold that had witnessed their joys and sorrows. As I leaned against the weathered wood, I reflected on the Whitaker family, the guardians of this garden. Their laughter had once filled the air, their love nurturing not just the flowers, but the very essence of the village. They had tended to the blooms with care, their hands brushing against petals as if coaxing forth the beauty of life itself. But as the years wove their tapestry, the Whitakers had faded from the village's memory, their stories fading like the twilight light. Yet, in the depths of this quiet evening, I realized that their legacy was woven into the very fabric of the village. The stories shared around the fire pit, the laughter echoing in the streets, all were threads of the Whitakers' narrative. They had not vanished, they had transformed, becoming part of the very soil that nourished the garden. The door, once a barrier, now seemed to pulse with the life of their memories, inviting me to remember rather than mourn. I remembered Mr. Thorne's tales, his voice rich with nostalgia as he spoke of the Whitakers' generosity, their willingness to share not just their garden, but their hearts. They had not vanished, they had transformed, becoming part of the very soil that nourished the garden. The door, once a barrier, now seemed to pulse with the life of their memories, inviting me to remember rather than mourn. I remembered Mr. Thorne's tales, his voice rich with nostalgia as he spoke of the Whitakers' generosity, their willingness to share not just their garden, but their hearts. The door was a testament to their spirit, a connection to the past that the villagers still cherished. It had seen countless gatherings, each one a celebration of life and love, and now it stood as a reminder of the bonds that could never be broken. As I stepped closer, the cool breeze caressed my skin, carrying with it echoes of laughter and whispers of long-lost friends. I closed my eyes, allowing the memories to wash over me like a gentle tide. Faces flickered in the darkness, children with dirt-smudged cheeks, their joy uncontained as they chased fireflies. The warm glow of lanterns illuminating the night, casting shadows that danced like spirits in the twilight. Each moment, a thread connecting me to the heart of this village. I opened my eyes, the door before me glowing softly in the dim light. It was no longer just a door. It was a vessel of memories, a bridge to a time when life felt simpler, when love and laughter were abundant. The fear that once gripped my heart had faded, replaced by a deep sense of tranquility. I understood now that embracing the past did not mean being trapped by it. It was about cherishing the moments that shaped me. With a gentle push, the door creaked open, revealing the garden bathed in the silver light of the moon. The blooms shimmered like stars against the dark canvas of night, their fragrances swirling in the cool air. I stepped inside, feeling the soft earth beneath my feet, grounding me in this sacred space. Each flower, each blade of grass, seemed to whisper secrets of the Whitaker family, their love still echoing in the petals that danced in the night breeze. As I wandered through the garden, the weight of my past lifted, replaced by a profound sense of acceptance. I no longer felt like an outsider. I was part of this tapestry, woven into the very essence of the village. The stories of the Whitakers were not just theirs, they were mine too, a legacy of love and resilience that would continue to thrive as long as the village stood. In that tranquil moment, I understood that the door had always been open, inviting me to step into a world of memories and connection. It was a reminder that the past, while bittersweet, held beauty that could enrich the present. The village, in all its quiet splendor, was alive with the echoes of those who had come before. And in that realization, I found peace. The moonlight cast a soft glow over the garden, illuminating the path I had once walked as a child. I could hear the distant sound of laughter, the voices of villagers mingling with the rustling leaves. I took a deep breath, inhaling the sense of nostalgia and warmth, allowing myself to be enveloped in the embrace of the night. As the stars twinkled above, I felt a deep sense of gratitude for this journey through the village, for the door that had led me back to myself. I had come to understand that the memories I held were not shackles, they were wings, allowing me to soar above the past and embrace the present with open arms. The legacy of the Whitakers, the laughter of the villagers, and the beauty of the garden would forever be etched in my heart. Now, as I stood beneath the vast expanse of the night sky, I surrendered to the calm that enveloped me. The journey had come full circle, and I was ready to let go of the burdens I had carried for so long. The door, once a symbol of separation, had become a gateway to understanding, a passage to serenity. In this moment of reflection, I found solace in the knowledge that I was never truly alone. The village, with its rich tapestry of stories and memories, would always welcome me back. I was part of its heart, woven into the fabric of what it meant to belong. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams.